Hey everyone, welcome back to the Beginner Fly Tying Series. I'm Tony, and this is Terrible Ties with Tony. It's time to talk about one of the most important parts of the whole process, finishing your flies. A clean, durable finish makes your flies look professional, last longer, and helps them catch more fish. So let's talk about our options here. Today we're covering whip finishes, half-hitch knots, head cement, and UV resin techniques. These skills will instantly improve every fly you tie. I hope this series has been helpful to you, and I'm looking forward to finishing up the basics with this video and getting into tying our first fly together in the next one. Let's go. The whip finish is most common and probably the most popular way to finish a fly. Here's how you do it. So you get your thread back to the end of your hook, still attached to your bobbin, just like this. Drop the hook of the tool over your thread, loop your thread over this bend in the tool, hold the tool all together and spin it up over the top of the hook. You'll see something like this that resembles a number 4. Now, while just holding the handle so that the tool can rotate, we go like this and spin it around the thread. 4 or 5 times is usually plenty. And we pull your thread up tight against the hook, pull the tool out. Now you'll see you have a nice tough knot locking all this down right behind the eye of the hook. Just in here. This is pretty easy to practice on plain hooks until you get it down. I strongly encourage this, as it will get more difficult when you're wrestling with a bunch of materials on your fly that need held out of the way, like this guy. So you'd be trying to 2 hands on the whip finisher and hold this material out of the way. It can get a little bit sticky sometimes. Practice will help you get better at it. Half-hitch knots can be super useful also. If you want to stop your work in the middle of a fly, or if you have a really bushy head on a fly that's hard to finish it with a whip finisher. These are really simple to do. Take your thread, pass it behind your hook, try to keep tension on it, give yourself enough of a loop that you can pass your bobbin through while still keeping tension. Just let that loop go back to the hook. Try to put this at the back here and cinch it down. Now you have a good fixed point if you need to continue working on your fly, or like I said, if you have a difficult time finishing it with a whip finisher. If you have a half-hitch tool, like this one, it's even easier. You work it in here, just put a loop around the tool, meet the eye of your hook with the tool, and simply slide the knot right off. Super handy in the event that it's difficult to get a whip finisher in there around all your materials. UV resins, like this one, have become very popular because it cures instantly under a UV light and creates a tough, glossy finish. I personally use resin almost exclusively at this point. There's a couple of ways to finish your fly with UV resin. When you finish with your thread right behind your hook eye, you can either put a drop of UV resin and then complete a whip finish or half hitch. I don't usually do that. I'll finish my fly off, cut my thread out of the way, and then put a drop of UV resin right here. And depending on the fly, I might put one down here on the bottom as well. Once you put a drop of resin at the end of your thread right behind your hook eye, you can use a UV light like this one to help it cure. Usually doesn't take more than 10 or 15 seconds. If you don't happen to have a light like this, you can just set your fly out in the sun for, I don't know, 15 to 30 minutes, and it'll cure too. Some tips for working with resin. You can use the bottle itself to apply your resin. You might have a brush that you want to brush on some more of your fly before you cure it. You can use something like a toothpick or another tool to put tiny drops in if you need to keep them small on a smaller fly. Always keep a paper towel handy to wipe your hands and your tools. And always cure fully or it will stay tacky. So the biggest points are to remember to whip finish or half hitch finish your flies when they're done. Add a tiny bit of UV cement, cure that with the UV light, and you're on the way. And that's it for our finishing your flies video. These skills will take your tying to the next level. And remember, a well-finished fly not only looks better in your box, it stands up to fish teeth and repeated casting much longer. Drop a comment below and tell me which finishing method you prefer. If you use head cement, UV resin, or both, what flies you would like to see in the next few videos. Starting with the next video, we'll get into taking everything we have gone through and tying our first fly together. I can't wait. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Tight lines until next time. Now go catch some fish and let us know what you got them with.